Hey everybody, welcome to my channel, to my page. If you're new here, welcome to the squad. If you are not new, shout out to you. I appreciate you watching my videos. I'm just gonna first start and address the fact that I'm wearing glasses. I'm actually nearsighted, but I'm trying to hide a very swollen eye I have going on because of stress. So just pretend, if you see it, you don't have to comment on it, okay? Don't comment on it. Just pretend you don't see it. And I'm not gonna call any more attention to it so that you can focus on the point of this video, okay? So we're back talking about and giving a 6-month update on my Microlocks. As you can see, if you've seen my other video, it's a lot thicker, it's a little bit longer, and overall, I am happy. I'm happy with its progress, its update. I've learned a lot along the way about how to maintain them and specifically keep them retwisted longer because I do the retwist method. I do, however, interlock my edges so that they stay, nice and clean. So I think the best way to do it is to start by talking about how I keep the retwist longer, because that is the clickbait that I chose today. And then I'll go in a little bit about the journey and my pros and cons and things like that. Cool? Cool. I think first and foremost, what I'm going to say is that if you are deciding between Microlocks, regular locks, Sisterlocks, like if you decide on Microlocks and you want to retwist them instead of interlocking them, you have to come to the understanding that they're not always going to look super clean and precise. I retwisted these. I retwisted them like 4 days ago, right? Yeah, like 4 or 5 days ago. And my roots are already kind of coming up. Not too much, not too bad. But they're just never gonna be as tight and clean as interlocks, which is fine if that's what you're okay with, if that's what you want. As I mentioned in my original video, I decided on doing Microlocks because I wanted my hair to look less manipulated. So even now, like, this is like coming out of cornrows, or like two French braids. Like, my hair is less manipulated. It matches a little bit more of my natural curl pattern. Additionally, Microlocks, I can do myself. I can retwist. Some people say that retwisting takes them not too much time, but it takes a lot of time for me. I don't know, maybe I'm different. I think I have a lot of locks in my head. I have over 700 now. So I feel like that's part of the reason it takes me a long time. I have a lot of locks. Yeah. Another thing, when you're choosing Microlocks or Sisterlocks, you have to be patient. It takes a little bit for them to grow. It takes a little bit for them to get thicker. They can look a little crazy some days. And you have to kind of like be okay with that. Like sometimes it's like basically like a mini fro, like out of my locks, like, and it takes a long time for the lock to mature and lock. So I've come up with a few tricks on that, and I hope to like kind of address them today too. For me, I go to the gym every single day. Like 5 days out of the week, I'm at the gym. I do a lot of high intensity interval training and stuff, as you've seen, because this is also a fitness page. So I have to retwist my hair. I have to retwist my hair with a lot of precision, with the right products. And for me to keep them longer, I braid them after I lock them. So if it takes me 2 days, that second day, I will braid them, because what you want and why we retwist is so that, the hair is slightly manipulated to stay in a certain place. So you want it to lock in that certain place, right, within each lock. So for me, the best way to keep it kind of like from starting to flail and connect with other locks, especially because they're so small, is by braiding them. And I'll braid them for like a week, and then I'll like rock the braid out. And I'm gonna show pictures of that, and also I'm gonna show pictures of my hair when I first retwisted it. So I've also tried a bunch of products and I've hated them. They're flaky or kind of itchy, and a lot of them weren't giving me good hold. First, I tried aloe vera gel. You know, I have thicker than Nigerian hair, 4C hair. So for me, like, it wasn't doing the trick. It wasn't doing enough. And I hated the like little white flakes I would get. I hated that. And then I tried another, like a lock pomade. Probably put it in the description box. I liked the smell that I got from it. It was really nice post, but it was still flaky, still a little itchy. Now, what I use now, I'm only gonna mention in case somebody wants to try it, but I would recommend waiting if you have other options, but I do use a little olive oil and Gorilla's Knot. I was actually, it sounds so stupid saying out loud, but I was actually kind of inspired by Gorilla Glue Girl, okay? Like, I know she didn't use the right one. This sounds so stupid to say. I know she didn't use the right one, but I was like, yo, what do I need? Hold. What has hold? Gorilla Glue. So I'm obviously using the hair version. Okay. And that's how I retwisted my locks. And it's actually been really great. I haven't had flakes. I think because I work out a lot, like there's still like some slight, you know, a few of these once in a while. But the hold is incredible. My locks have stayed like where they're supposed to be. And I love that for me. So I'm gonna keep you updated. I don't use a lot of Gorilla Glue. I probably will film eventually a retwist video. I just use just a little. And the only way I can get myself to use a little is by pre-making my like olive oil and then the Gorilla Gel together. And then like just taking a little dab for each lock, especially because my locks are so small. So I'll let you know if there's breakage. I'm gonna let y'all know. If there's any kind of side effect that is not too great, I'll let you know. A lot of people don't recommend using it, but for the thickness of my hair, it's been really great, and I think it's going to kind of solve some of my problems. And even now, it's held so much better. I've had my hair out since I knew I was gonna film, so it looks great. And I've been at the gym, like I said, like 4 days in a row, and you know, I'm still getting a pretty good hold. Like I said, if you are planning on Microlocks or Sisterlocks and you want to interlock, like, and because you want like precision, that is not retwisting. Retwisting is about the vibes, going with the flow. It's less manipulation. And sometimes I'll just like touch up the top of my head, like the edges. Like I'll just clean them up a little bit if I'm like rushing, because school is really stressing me out right now. I don't want to get into it because I don't want to be negative with y'all, but school is stressing me out. So for urgency, I will like redo my front if I have to, or I'll just wear them in braids usually and just rock them, you know, and then if I have to go out, I'll pull out the braids and wear it as a braid out. So it's been really great for like ease and like maneuvering, if that makes sense. When I first started my locks, my new locks, they were like 2-strand twisted by my babe, my friend, and the grid was perfection. If you haven't seen it, I'll drop a link in my description of how she did it and the grid she used. But since then, you know, I still have like my general grid, but it's definitely been changed a little bit. When I retwist, some of my 2 strands have unraveled. So depending on the size of the lock, because like I said, like your hair will thicken up as it matures, and then my hair is already very thick in general. So I will like see the lock, compare it to other locks around it, and either pull apart the 2 strands because the strand has locked on its own, or I'll retwist the 2 strands and like, you know, still kind of like manipulate it, trying to keep it locked and allowing it to lock. So I'll do that depending on, I've been doing that. I'd say I was doing it mostly in my first and second retwist. I don't have to do that as much now, but you know, it can be frustrating when you're retwisting your hair, trying to like, you know, mature your locks, and like you're still fixing like original locks. It can be very frustrating because it's like, okay, I'm back at square one with this lock. But you just can't think about it that way if you decide to go this journey. And I don't. Like I said, I don't have time. I feel very blessed that I can do my own hair. I feel fortunate that I can like get it done while watching a lecture or rewatching a lecture or whatever I'm doing. So, you know, and I'm really blessed that I'm not spending like hundreds of dollars to get my hair like interlocked or relocked or retightened, because that adds up, you know? And that's what I originally had. I originally had Sisterlocks, and I talked about that in my first video. So I think if I was to talk about pros, my pros would be, I love the size. My Sisterlocks were very big and I wanted them to be smaller. I had always wanted them to be smaller, and I played myself in my gut, which I stopped doing. And, you know, I started over before medical school started, so that, because I knew I wouldn't have time when I got here to like change anything drastically. So it was like my big plunge before starting school. I love that I don't have to manipulate it too much. I love how they look when they're curly. I love how they look when they're like manipulated and braided back. Like I just really love the look. I'm happy with my like length development, because when we two straight twisted it, my hair was blown out and looked very long. And then when I was wearing my hair the first few weeks, and I'm going to show you pictures of this, like it took a little bit. It took like maybe 3 months for my hair to start thickening up, and like it just looked like I had no hair on my head. And I was like, because I was like, oh, maybe it's the way I like took them out, blah blah blah. But ultimately, like, you do lose a little density when you're taking out your Sisterlocks, especially like matured Sisterlocks, because my Sisterlocks are like years old. So I was like walking around with it just pinned, because it was looking a little, it was rough. So I'm very happy with how far it's come in this journey. I think retwisting ultimately is a lot easier. Interlocking my edges takes time, and the retwisting is quicker, way quicker. What other pros? Yeah, that's it. As for cons, again, if you really want like clean grid, like I miss knowing that my grid was so clean. And I actually have a great picture, and I'm gonna make sure I put it up here, of like I went to Nigeria and my hair was like it took like 8 weeks before I came back, and then 2 weeks before I had the money to go see my loctician, and she was like, girl what's going on with your hair? So like here's a picture of, you know, my Sisterlocks. And I just loved that whenever I like was gone or away, like it would always be clean. There'd always be a grid there, because somebody was taking care of that grid. Somebody could see 360, you know. I loved that about Sisterlocks. Also, I love different forms of Sisterlocks. I think that if my original loctician had made them as small as I actually wanted them to be, then I might never have taken them out. But you know, that's just life. My hair also thickens up fast. Like I said, it took like 2 months for it to thicken up. I didn't use castor oil or anything. I just maintained it. I use a little oil and water, either some rose water, regular water, and some olive oil. And I wash my hair, because I still want it to mature. I know that people say you're supposed to wash it to like allow it to lock faster, but I also don't have the time to wash my hair once a week. So I wash my hair like every 2-ish weeks. And usually if I've retwisted it, it's 2 weeks for sure, because I want it, the retwist to look, you know, as clean as it could be for an extended period of time before I have to wash it. And then I'll wash it every week or week and a half until I retwist it again. And I've been retwisting my hair every 6-ish weeks. Now I have a lot of new growths every 6 weeks, but you know, again, with the time constraints and just this hair's like malleability, it's okay. Like my hair looks fine. Like, so I don't retwist it very often unless I have to. I think I've had maybe, I don't know. Let me see. I've had 4 to 5 retwists so far. Yeah, like 4 to 5 retwists so far. And they've been good. What I use to wash my hair, I currently use like one of those drugstore, what's it called? I use one of the drugstore clarifying shampoos like Suave, because I work out a lot, like I said, and I'm also pushing my washes because I want my hair to mature, or like I want my hair, like the gel to kind of hold and like keep my hair in place for a period of time. So I use Suave clarifying shampoo because it just gives me the cleanest, like the cleanest feeling, okay? I know, that's not a word, it's fine. But if you have oily hair, if you work out a lot, you know, I recommend clarifying shampoo. I haven't had any issues with it. I love it on my hair. I leave feeling very soft, with my hair feeling very soft. Additionally, I will wet my hair like this, and then I will braid the ends, and I'll put them in maybe like 5 to 10 braids, and then I'll just put the shampoo in my hair, and then before I get into the shower, because I feel like clarifying shampoo is like doing some scrubbing and needs like a few minutes versus like getting into the shower, putting shampoo in your hair, and then washing it out. So I give it a little time to kind of like start scrubbing on its own, because I don't want to be going like this when my hair is very small and still, you know, maturing. So a trick I use is to like pre-shampoo before getting into the shower so that my hair starts scrubbing and starts cleaning out, like, you know, the dirt and oils and sweat, etc. from my roots. And then when I get into the shower, I'll either add a little bit more shampoo, and then I'm only doing a few like strong scrubs, because by then my hair is already kind of soaked in everything. And I'm doing like very strategic like scrubbing so that I'm not loosening my locks, because I have locks. And then I will wash it out. And usually like I'll take my actual shower and then wash it out, so that I've been in there for a long time, you know, and it's doing its thing. So that's what I use to wash my hair. Like I said, I eventually will do a video on how I wash my hair, just in case you like it, you know, just in case it works for you too. Additionally, when my locks were first installed, we did a 1/4 in the front so that it could be very small, right? And then we did 1/8 in the back. And like I said, my hair was not thick at the beginning, so I was really shook, like, maybe we didn't do enough hair in the back. Maybe we didn't do enough hair in the back. But, you know, as my hair has thickened up, like, I'm really glad we did that, because it just reduces the volume back there, but, like, it still looks really good and, like, together. It would have been way longer to do and way longer for me to manage if I had more locks back there. And quite honestly, I'm already teetering around, like, 750 locks. I would be at 1,000, and I just could not handle that many locks right now. So I'm really happy that we did 1/8 in the back, you know, like a little bit bigger in sizing, and then 1/4 in the front. And I think that's everything. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, let me know. If you have any ideas or opinions for my hair, let me know. I would love to know what you'd want to see. I'd love to know what you guys think, because I'm really freeballing this journey. In my first hair video, I was like, oh, prove to me or show me that there's mad people retwisting their locks. And people were like, oh, so-and-so, 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 so-and-so. And I'm like, oh, good luck. And I've been watching them, and some people have already changed to interlocking. So, like, you know, I think our retwist community is getting bigger, which is nice. And I hope it keeps getting bigger and people kind of like decide to join retwist gang. And yeah, so let me know in the comments if you have any ideas, opinions, or thoughts about my hair so far. Again, I'm really excited. I can't wait to give you an update on how it keeps going. And yeah, thank you for watching.